some people would say, well, why would you think that, after reading that scripture, that a whole bunch of people can still find that straight way, that narrow way? Okay, let's talk about the narrow path scripture and why I don't think that scripture is saying that a whole bunch of people can't find that narrow path or that straight way, right? So let's read it. It's Matthew 7:13-14. Let's read it right quick. It says, enter ye in at the straight gate, for wide is the gate, and broad is the way that leadeth to destruction, and many there be which go in therein. Because straight is the gate, and narrow is the way which leadeth unto life, and few there be that find it. Now, when you hear the few that be that find it, some people would say, well, why would you think that, after reading that scripture, that a whole bunch of people can still find that straight way, that narrow way, if it's a few there be that find it, right? This is something I think people should keep in mind. Think about the population today, right? We have people on Earth just today. Now think about what the population of the world of people who has ever existed. Years, decades, centuries on centuries on centuries. How many people have there ever been in the history of the planet, right? Now, what would be a little bit of 7 billion? I'm saying 7 billion, but we really got more than that. What would be a number that people would consider a little bit for 7 billion is still a lot. So think about the totality of everybody who ever existed and what a few would be for that. Probably still a whole bunch of people. Now, another thing that I would say in relation to this is this, right? Sometimes when I don't know, I hope people don't think that the people who are existing in whatever time period, okay? We living in this time period today, right? However long people gonna live, right? People who live before us, they live however long they live, right? I hope people don't feel as though that the people who's existing in whatever time period they're living don't impact whether people can find the narrow way or not. Like, does the Bible have a set quota for a certain time period that say, well, for this time period, only so many people can find a narrow way? Well, in this time period we're living in right now, only so many. I don't see that quota in the Bible that say only a certain amount of people can find a narrow way, depending on what time of period that they're in. I don't see that, right? So I definitely believe that the people, but whether it's your household you're living in, your neighborhood, your city, your community, your state, country, and all that, right? The people of these different, areas, however they are living, can help determine if they themselves or people around them, or they can they can do their part to help people around them to find that narrow way. Of course, it's on each person. You can't force nobody. You can make sure you're doing what you're supposed to do individually within yourself, and then outwardly as far as spreading the message and helping people to find a narrow way, right? But the people that's how things become normalized, accepted in the culture, right? The people of it. So if the people are going to move a certain way, if they're going to be living a certain way, moving a certain way, believing a certain way that's conducive to finding the narrow path, then the people of that time in that neighborhood, that country, or whatever, wouldn't it be more conducive for those people to find the narrow path and stay on the narrow path? So it's not as if the people of that time and of those areas can't, have an impact on whether this can, how many people can find that narrow path. I mean, with over 7 billion people on the earth right now, who said that every single person can't find the narrow path? All 7+ billion or 8+ billion, however many people we have on earth right now. Where's the scripture? Where's the quota? Where's the rule that say that? If the people of that time going to move a certain way and do their part in each place, it's on these individuals what they're going to do. You saying they can't find it? According to what? According to who? So really, each person just needs to be doing their part. And you know, that's what you focus on, doing your part as an individual, and you know, like I said, spreading the word. That you focus on that. And like I said, a few can be a whole bunch of people in relation to every single person that has ever been born, every single person that have lived on this earth. How many people is that really? Let's just do our part.